All right, so here's the clipper cut. I'm gonna start out with a 2. Caleb's is a little bit different because we're not gonna cut the top for him. So we're gonna keep this all pinned away so we don't touch it at all. So I'm gonna use a 2. I'm gonna start out with a 2. And basically, you're just gonna go up the hair and kind of pull out. So it's a little bit of a C motion. Down here, you don't have to do the C motion. It's basically to keep this longer so you don't cut in to any part of the hair that you're not supposed to be. When you do this, you want to make sure that you don't go past the corner of the person's head. So when this comes up and starts to round, this is where you want to be kind of seeing out at. So you come up this way, and about here is where you want to come out. Because you need this to be a little bit longer. And in the back, you want to dip it down just a little bit, but not too much. Basically, where the head starts rounding, that's where you want to do your C. And you just keep going around the head. Move the ears out of the way. And do your C right up to where the head turns. You're going to have a little bit that's flopping over though. That's normal. Make sure you don't touch any of the bang area at that point. And go right over their sideburns. All right, now I'm changing to a 1. Because he wants this fairly short at the bottom. You don't have to do this. You can just stay with the 2. Make it easier on yourself. But you're going to do the same thing if you decide you want it a little bit shorter towards the bottom. Come up with a C motion. The whole reason for that is so that you don't create a line on their head. So if you run into a problem and you do end up putting a line in their head, so you can kind of see a little bit here where there's a little bit of a line. If you have this nice little lever on your clippers, you can pull that up and it makes this one a 1.5 now. And when you go over that section, you can make that little line disappear. And I'll go back to my 1. If you do that seam motion correctly, you're not going to have that line. You can over exaggerate it, kind of like you're flicking hair off of the clippers. All right, and once that's done, you can either buzz the top the same, or you can take scissors to the top. He doesn't really want this any shorter, so I'm just going to spray bottle. Spray it down. And what you want to do here is figure out how long you want this. So most guys are going to want it pretty short. So you're going to be down about here. And then you can either cut across or you can kind of chip into it. I've already cut the top of his head, so I don't want to do any more, but I'll show you a little bit. You want to start with a piece in the center, probably a pretty small piece for you guys, or whatever you feel comfortable with. And you want to create a line, but not anything that is going to be a hard line unless you feel more comfortable with that. You can do that and just go straight across this way. And then once you're done with doing that, you can see that there's a straight line going across, but then these are textured here. You can always chip into it a little bit with the end of your scissors and make it so that it is textured going across the top. So you're gonna want to go from this all the way to the front, figuring out where the length in the front you want it to be is, and you take the next section and do the same. You meet this section up to the section that you already cut. You're probably going to be down here doing it, so you're not going to be able to grab any part of the sides, but just make sure you don't come around this way to the side. You want to go straight up with everything. And just go from front to back on this side, and then front to back on this side. Once you're done with the entire top, you can pull the whole top up and you'll be able to see if you went straight across or not. When you pull this up, anything that you feel like that is longer in spots, you can go and trim a little bit. And then you pull it all the way back. Pull some more back. Just make sure everything is even. This is going to round a little bit too on the sides. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. And come all the way back, straight up to the back of the head. Once you do that, you're going to want to take the top section and kind of pull it out of the way. But you can leave a little bit hanging over. His hair is long, so you can't really go by his, but go about there. And my suggestion is that you clip it out of the way so that you don't cut anything that you're not supposed to be. And then what you're going to want to do is you can start up here, pull the hair out, and anything that hangs over that doesn't meet up with where you've clippered, that's what you want to cut. So his is pretty good. There's a little piece that hangs over. And you want to do this just to meet up what is on the top of the head and what's on the side of the head. So you want to kind of make a square going this way, but it tilts in just a little bit towards the top. And then that should blend in everything. Then on the front, you can pull just a little bit down on the front. You know, wherever that's going to be. It might be, you know, all the way up here. But you want to make sure that all of this is the length that you want and that it's even all the way across. It's going to be like a little bit of a U. And then once you get that cut, you can take just this little part in front. I would say probably about 1.5 inches to 2 inches going back. And you want to cut into this so that it kind of rounds this way a little bit. Because you don't want the top pieces of the hair falling over the bangs. And you want to do that all the way across the forehead. This way. You can see how it's down here and you want to kind of get to there. So take this off. And then if your clippers aren't real sharp, sometimes it misses hairs. So my suggestion is to have them wash their hair, and then you can go over and get any of like the little pieces that are still left down in the clippered part. And then once you're done with the bangs, you take your trimmers and you're gonna want to go right around to the ears a little bit. You don't want to give them white walls. So you want to go around the ear a little bit. Same on this side. And you want to come down in just a little bit of a slant. You don't want it to be too cut in. And then the back, you can just go straight across. And you can go down as far as you need to. If they have hairs kind of coming down their neck, you can do that. And just be very, very careful around the ear. Straight down. And then you can style the hair like you want it with gel or anything.